The last passage of the set of 4 passages mercifully turned out to be the easiest. Now, once you have, so as I said in the exam, if you're rushing through the most difficult passage, which was the one on lucid and radical feminism, and you would attempted 2 questions, this would be a breather, a relief. Okay. Let's read. It's a passage based on communication between fungi. Mushrooms on a log may each seem like quiet standalone organisms, but they're actually the above ground sporing fruit belonging to a fungus connected to the large organism by a root network called mycelium. They seem like standalone organisms, but they are actually connected. Okay, they are the above ground part of a fungus. Below it, they are connected to a larger organism by a root network called the mycelium. Although fungi may not seem very talkative either, a new study shows that electric signals traveling through their mycelium network could help the organism communicate. A new study has found that there are electric signals that travel through the mycelium of the fungi, which could help the organism communicate. Very interesting. A research paper concludes that some fungi use electrical impulses to share and process information internally. So research has found that to share and communicate internally, they use electrical impulses. When signal activity spikes, it creates an intricate patterns that may function like words in human speech. So electrical signals, electrical activity, when these signals spike, it has been found that this communication may function, the signals may function like words in human speech. It is estimated that fungi vocabulary could consist of about 50 words. So they send electrical signals, they communicate with each other, and they've also found that these signals function somewhat like words in human speech, and the vocabulary could be about 50 words in the human language if you look at it. Next para. Previous research has found that fungi can send electrical impulses underground through long thread-like structures called hyphae, which expand to form a network of mycelium. Hyphae sort of work like nerve cells transmitting signals to other parts of the human body. Just like nerve cells send signals to other part of the human body, you have underground thread-like structures called hyphae, which are analogous to nerve cells in human beings. Some studies have shown electrical activity increases when the hyphae of wood-digesting fungi touch wooden blocks, which indicate that fungi use these impulses to share information about food or injury. Per The Guardian, according to The Guardian, this must be happening, that there has been research which has found that electrical activity increases when they did an experiment of hyphae of wood digesting fungi. They found that electrical impulses increase when wood digesting fungi touch wooden blocks, and this suggests that they may be sharing information about food, about injury, about whatever. In the new study, so this is the earlier study about hyphae sending signals. In the new study, 4 fungi species, ghost fungi, caterpillar fungi, split gill fungi, and enoki fungi were analyzed. 4 different fungi were analyzed. Study author Andrew Adamatsky, a computer scientist, eavesdropped. Eavesdrop means to listen to what others are saying on the fungi chit-chat. So what did he eavesdrop on? Fungi talking to each other through electrical signals using tiny electrodes connected to hyphae to measure spikes in signal activities. Each spike in activity was organized into groups and given a linguistic and so this is all about how it was done. Spikes varied in duration and length, with some impulses lasting up to 21 hours. So he had electrodes, he had the whole thing set up. Whenever there was a spike in activity between the fungi, he could listen to the electrical impulses, and sometimes these impulses lasted up to 21 hours. Clusters of electrical points resembled a human vocabulary of about 50 words. only 15 to 20 fungal words are frequently used. 50 words is the range, but out of this 15 to 20 words commonly used. Fungal words are also similar in length to human words. So, lot of facts here about fungal words, vocabulary, length, lot of questions if they ask on fact-based passages. For this, you have to refer back to the passage. Don't have to remember all these. A fungal word length averaged 4 species. Over 4 species is 5.97, same range as an average word length in human language, 4.8 in English and 6 in Russian. Adamatsky writes in the paper, in terms of complexity, split-gill mushrooms produce remarkably diverse sentences according to the study. While the research shows fungi produce patterns of electrical signals, there's no way to tell what they are talking at all if they are at all talking. So scientific analyst says that, look, there has been a spike in signals, but it's difficult to figure out what are they talking about, if at all they are talking. I mean, some scientists say this is similar to human words, but some say they're not sure. They say we don't know what they're talking about, if you call that talking. We don't know if there's a direct relationship between spiking patterns and fungi and human speech. There's no direct relations between two. Adamatsky told The Guardian, possibly not. On the other hand, there are many similarities in the information processing in living substrates of different classes, families, and species, and I was just curious to complete. Excuse me. Like howling wolves, the fungi could be signaling their presence to one another, or they could also be saying nothing. But the spiking events are not random. Okay, this is what the researcher has said. He says, look, they may be saying something, they may not be saying something, but this spiking activity is not random. There's a purpose to it. While comparing the mushroom's electrical impulses to human speech is interesting and notable, some researchers are skeptical. This is very interesting, the spiking activity, but some researchers are skeptical. They are doubtful. What are they saying? Mycologist, somebody who studies fungi, Dan Weber, who was not involved with the study, thinks that the electrical signals could be similar to nutrient pulses sent in other fungi. There could be something related to nutrient pulses. Though interesting, the interpretation as language seems somewhat over-enthusiastic. Maybe you're getting a little going a little overboard here, and would require far more research and testing of critical hypotheses before we see fungus on Google Translate. Take a lot of research, lot more research and study for us to really say that fungus have a language. Question 14. Easy. Even if you didn't know, guess. All the 4 statements can be inferred from the passage except that. So there's one statement that can't be inferred. So here we don't have to refer back to the passage. We know roughly what are the points he has made. Let's see. Fungi communicate similar to human words when they transmit electrical signals. Is the fungi communication similar to human words? They're similar to human words in length. They are similar to human communication, but did they say that the communication is similar to human words? So what has he done? He has played around with the words used in the passage. What did he say? The electrical signals are similar to human words, but does not mean fungal communication is similar to human words. Do you get the difference? So I now know that this is not what the passage says. It's similar to human words. What? The electrical signals, the impulses, the signal activity. The length of those signals similar to the length of human words. The vocabulary range is around 50. Commonly used words, if you can say. But the communication is not in our language. They are not using our words. You get the difference? So A is not what he is saying. So A is my answer. But let's look at B and C. A fungal word length is about the same as the average word length. Yes. Fungal vocabulary approximately 50. Yes. Of the 4 fungi species, the split gill mushroom have the most diverse sentences. Yes. So B, C and D definitely have been mentioned. Now I am sure A is my answer. A is the answer. Get it? They played with the words used in the passage. So don't fall for this. This is a very common wrong option. So you have to be sure what the question means, what the answer option means. Say it in 2-3 words and say, is this what was said in the passage? No. So it cannot be the answer. The fungi are not speaking our words. Their electrical signals are similar to our words in terms of length, in terms of other things, but they're not actually using similar words as human words. They're not saying hi, good morning. No, right?